Good afternoon and welcome to Maple Mountain High School for today's sight of contest between the Springville Red Devils and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. I am Brandon Crow with you today. Buckle up, folks. We should have a powerful matchup today between these two teams. Both teams red hot with a 9-2 record. Especially Springville coming in with an 8-game winning streak, and Maple Mountain has won 3 out of their last 5. Leading it off for the Red Devils is left fielder number 23, Tiana Ta'ala. And real quick, we'll give you the starting defense for the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. Starting at pitcher is the reliable and trusty Carly Guyman, the senior. Behind the dish is Avery Reynolds. At third, Sydney Wilson. Shortstop, Taylor Strasburg. Second base, Megan Wiley. Mackenzie Meacham at first. And in the outfield, Bailey Whitney, Ellie Ashman, Brianna Gammon. And the first pitch is popped into right field, and Brianna Gammon retires Tiana Ta'ala. Our umpire behind the dish today, Russ Carter, and the field umpire is Jess Cornwall. Now batting for the Red Devils, number 3, second baseman Annie Anderson. So real quick, 1 out away for Guyman. As Russ Carter has a break and tells the ladies, especially the Red Devils, he doesn't want to see any more bracelets. Again, that is one of the many rules in high school softball and high school sports in general, trying to keep the players as safe as possible, so no jewelry of sorts. And there's a rising fastball by Guyman, taken high for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, again, another rising fastball. So 2 balls and no strikes to Anderson. Head coach for the Red Devils is Jill Thackeray. And head coach for Maple Mountain, Cassie Reese. And that pitch is promptly fouled back. The 2-1 the count to Anderson. Thank you for joining us today on SFCN. Looks to be a great ball game. Ooh, and Guyman just misses that inside fastball. So 3 balls and 1 strike is the count. This is Guyman's 6th game starting. Very reliable. And that pitch is swung on and missed by Annie Anderson. So full count now. I spoke with Coach Reese earlier in the day, and she says she just can't say enough about Guyman and her delivery. And that rising fastball is risen foul and out of play. And Anderson continues to stay alive. Guyman, like most softball pitchers, has about a handful of pitches. And some of her best pitches include that rising fastball and even a screwball and a changeup here and there. So look to see some of those from her today from the circle. And she misses high. And Anderson takes a walk to be the first runner not only of the inning but of the ball game.
Anderson draws a walk, and the batter will be number 16.
And that'll bring up number 16, the third baseman, Riley Harris. And that pitch is inside. Guyman looking to make her presence known on the mound. If these batters come anywhere close to that inside plate, Guyman's going to say, hey, this is my territory. So brushing off just a little bit to let them know she's there. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. Maple Mountain Golden Eagles wearing their maroon undershirts and socks with the all whites, the classic whites. And the Red Devils donning the blue tops, the white bottoms, and the red trim. And that ball is fisted in shallow left field, and it falls just short of Bailey Whitney. And we have 2 on and a single for Harris, which brings up shortstop, number 12, Mary Fredrickson.
Number 12, Mary Fredrickson.
Both of these teams play in a very tough Region 8. And they tied for 3rd last year. And that pitch swung on and missed. Talking to both coaches, Thackeray and Reese, they say you have to bring your A game every game here in region play with strong teams all over. And that ball is caught by Strasburg. So Harris saw the changeup low and away, and instead of going with it, just tried to pull it and pulled it straight to Strasburg for the second out of the inning. If you're just joining us, Ta'ala flied out to begin the ballgame to right field, followed by Anderson's walk. And Harris singled into left field. And that now brings up the pitcher, number 13, Casey Jensen. Casey can not only do it in the circle, but does it at the plate, swinging the hottest bat right now for the Red Devils of Springville. There's a strong, healthy cut. It'll be a big pitcher's duel today between these two all-stars. And swung on and missed for strike two as Guyman is ahead of the count. Jensen is verbally committed to Dixie State already and will take her talents down south to St. George in the fall. But before that, she looks to add to her high school career and hopefully bring home a Region 8 record and maybe even a state title, as her hopes is what she told us before the ball game. As Russ Carter has a little discussion with Guyman in the circle. Take this opportunity once again to thank our sponsors for providing this game for us today, MVP Sports and the Car Guys. They'll be with us not only the rest of the game, but all season long, and we appreciate them and all that they do for us and the community. And there's a changeup in the dirt for ball two. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 score. Anderson on second, Harris on first. And here's Guyman's pitch, and it is fouled back, and Jensen stays alive. Two-two pitch. Jensen waited on that off speed, and she was just a little out in front of it. Drilled it foul and out of play. Still alive. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Guyman. And a rising fastball too high in the zone. Full count now. The second batter so far in this half inning where Guyman has reached full count. Payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and Jensen stays alive, making Guyman work for it. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled, still in play. And Avery Reynolds with the catch. And that retires the Red Devils. So 2 on, left on base. And we go to the bottom of the first inning here on SFCN. 0-0 score. Maple Mountain grabs their bats right after this. Welcome back to Maple Mountain High School, home of the Golden Eagles. And they take on the rival Springville Red Devils. It was a quick half inning for Guyman and company, retiring 3, leaving 2 on base, still with the scoreless game. We'll go ahead and give you that starting lineup for the Golden Eagles. Leading things off in center field, Ellie Ashman, followed by left fielder Bailey Whitney, third baseman Sydney Wilson, and then the pitcher herself, Carly Guyman, and then catcher Avery Reynolds, who caught Jensen's pop fly to end the inning, followed by right fielder Brianna Gammon, first baseman Mackenzie Meekum, second baseman Megan Wiley, and then followed up shortstop Taylor Strasburg. On the defensive side for Springville, the Red Devils, you have, of course, Casey Jensen in the circle, Natalie Sumption Behind the dish, Riley Harris at third, Mary Fredrickson at short, Annie Anderson at second, Maddie Daybell at first, and Ta'ala, Morgan, and Morse in the outfield. So leading things off is Ashman. Ashman appears to be showing bunt. And Springville, I guess, has the scouting report on her as Harris and Daybell, really the whole infield is playing very shallow and in. 2 balls and no strikes to Ashman. Casey Jensen, like we mentioned earlier, committed to Dixie State. As Ashman's first swing is a miss for strike 1. So she will wear a different type of red. Yeah, same shade, but maybe a little bit different down in Dixie. And Ashman takes high for ball 3. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And Ashman promptly fouls that one back, stays alive. Ashman, very speedy.
Number 8, Bailey Whitney.
And she takes high and outside for a ball. Coach Cassie Reese, mutual respect with Coach Thackeray and the Springville Red Devils. As that pitch is fouled and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. And she expects solid pitching and solid defense from the Red Devils, and that is exactly what you'll get. Again, Casey Jensen, one of the more dominant pitchers in the region. And she misses high with that rising fastball. Coach Reese says the key for Maple Mountain today is to be patient at the plate, swing at strikes, and just remember to be who they are and do what they do best. As Whitney fouls that one back to the near post. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that is Jensen's second strikeout on the game.
Whitney is called out
As
on
Whitney
strike
goes down
number
looking.
2.
And that brings up third baseman Sydney Wilson.
The Golden Eagle batter will be the third baseman, number 12.
Sydney Wilson comes into this ball game with the hottest bat in the lineup, according to Coach Reese. Sydney with the crouching wide stance, and she wants no part of that change up high and outside for a ball. She looks to stay alive here, keep the rally going in the top half of the first. Big cut, fouled and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. And whacked into center field and through the legs of Morgan. And it looks like Wilson will have herself a stand-up triple.
Wilson with a single up the middle and goes to third on the air.
So Jensen threw the ball right over the plate, and Wilson promptly crushed it right back up the middle over Jensen's head into center field. It got through the legs of Sydney Morgan. So if you're keeping score at home, mark that as a single and an error. And that brings up pitcher Carly Guyman trying to help out her own cause. And quickly, 2 strikes now. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Jensen. Ooh, just misses high and outside, says Russ Carter. One-two pitch. And this ball is banged into right field, and the ball is dropped by Teresa Morse. Teresa Morse cannot grab onto it. And Guyman's going to try for 3. Here comes the throw. Is it in time? And it is not. It is very windy down here towards the mouth of the canyon. Guyman put the bat on the ball, and that ball was dancing in the air as Teresa Morse could not come up with it. And Wilson comes home for the first run of the ball game.
Speed-up runner down on third will be number 27, Elena Ellis. And the batter will be the catcher, number 34, Avery Reynolds.
That brings up the 5th batter of the inning now. Catcher number 34, Avery Reynolds. And with one swing of the bat here, Avery Reynolds could double the lead. And Reynolds bloops this one into shallow left field. And another run scores.
Reynolds with a single into center field with another RBI.
Just over the outstretched hands of Fredrickson. Really nothing she could have done about that.
Number 23, Brianna Gammon.
And right fielder Brianna Gammon steps up to the dish. And she takes that first pitch for a strike. Coach Reese encouraging her team to keep fighting. And we're going to have a speed-up runner.
Speed-up runner down on first will be number 5, Aubrey Guyman.
And Aubrey Guyman, the sister of Carly, comes in to be the speed-up runner at first for Reynolds. And Jensen misses high. Jensen throwing quite a few pitches here in the first inning. Swing and a miss from Gammon. And another swing and a miss, and that will be the 3rd strikeout of the inning for Jensen, but not before Maple Mountain scores 2. And we go into the top of the 2nd inning. Maple Mountain 2, Springville nothing. We'll be right back here on SFCN.
2 runs on 3 hits. There was an error, 3 strikeouts.
We head to the top of the 2nd inning here at Maple Mountain High School as the Golden Eagles have a 2-0 lead over their rivals Springville Red Devils. So Jensen did retire the side, striking them out last inning, but it wasn't before Maple Mountain tacked on 2 runs and 3 hits for the Golden Eagles in the top of that half inning. Excuse me, for the bottom of that half inning. And in the top of the 2nd, we have Daybell, Morse, and Clark looking to try to answer for the Red Devils. And Guyman steps back in the circle and looks to get to work. And her first pitch is swung on and missed by Daybell. Foul back. Guyman loves to get ahead of the count anytime she can. She tries to attack with the fastball, with a rising fastball, and use her drop ball to her advantage. She's ahead 0-2 now to Daybell. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's swung on and missed. And that is Guyman's first strikeout of the game.
Now batting number 18, right fielder.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Teresa Morse. Teresa, last inning, had that fly ball by Guyman. Just give her some trouble. Could not come up with it for the first run to score. It led Reynolds to get the 3rd. Anytime you have a play like that out on defense, the first thing you want to do is get right back at it with the bat on the offense. As she looks outside, and she goes down 0-2 now. She'll have to choke up with her 2-strike stance now. 0-2 pitch. Low and away, says Russ Carter for ball 1. 1-2. High. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Guyman.
Guyman with another strikeout for out number 2.
And that brings up the designated player, number 15, Sadie Clark.
Will be number 15, Sadie Clark.
Don't be confused. Sadie does not go to a different high school. She's just wearing a sweatshirt, different color jersey than the others. I wish I had a sweatshirt when I played back home for the cold days like this. As she takes that first pitch from Guyman on the outside part of the plate for a ball. Guyman takes high and outside again for ball 2. As you see Sydney Wilson creeping in from third base just in case Clark gets a little sneaky, tries to lay down a bunt. And Guyman setting up on the outside, paints it black. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one pitch. On the outside corner again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the top of the second. Two-two pitch. Swung on and missed. And Guyman strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down.
And Guyman strikes out the side.
Maple Mountain looking pretty confident so far here. We're going to the bottom of the second on SFCN. Welcome back to Maple Mountain High School. Carly Guyman strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second. So with a 2-0 lead here over their rivals in the bottom of the second inning, Maple Mountain feeling a little bit of confidence early in this one. I'm sure they, according to Coach Cassie Reese, they would love to get some revenge after what happened to them a couple weeks ago down in St. George as they first played Springville in a tournament. And they lost 3-2 in a very intense, very hard-fought matchup that was called because the tournament games are timed. Not necessarily because of final outs or anything, but because of the time and how it ran out. That's what gave Maple Mountain the L in the far right-hand column. As Mackenzie Meekum, first baseman, is ahead of the count with 2 balls and no strikes. And Jensen trying to get some swagger and a groove going from the winner's circle. And she pulls a string on that changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Meacham. So again, in the bottom half, Meacham fouls this one up. And Sumption can't handle it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. So on two runs, 3 hits for the Golden Eagles in the bottom of the first. And that's what we have our score is now. And here's Jensen's pitch. Swung on and missed. And that is Jensen's 4th strikeout of the ball game. So with in 1 inning and a third, you have 4 strikeouts, yet you're down 2-0. That's softball. And that brings up Megan Wiley, second baseman now. Megan shows bunt, pulls back. Russ Carter calls that one a strike. Wiley looks at that off speed on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swung on and missed. Big cuts for strike 2. Jill Thackeray, head coach for the Red Devils of Springville, said that over in the offseason, Casey Jensen worked really hard on her screwball and her changeup and that those are some of her money pitches right now. And that looks to be a rising fastball. And for strikeout number 5 on the ball game, Wiley goes down. And that brings up the shortstop, Taylor Strasburg. And Strasburg takes that first pitch inside fastball for a strike. It was with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning when Wilson singled up the middle and got the rally going. And there is a dribbler to Fredrickson. Fredrickson comes up firing over to Daybell for the out. So after Guyman goes 1, 2, 3, Jensen says, hey, I can do the same thing. And she retires the Golden Eagles 1, 2, 3. Still, Maple Mountain has a 2-0 lead, and we go to the top of the third here on SFCN. As you see on the scoreboard, Maple Mountain Golden Eagles with a 2-0 lead over the rivals, the Red Devils from Springville High School. Maple Mountain took that lead in the bottom of the first. 3 hits and 2 runs came in the bottom of that half inning. 2 back-to-back half innings of 1, 2, 3 retirements from both pitchers. And Carly Guyman looks to get to work again against the Red Devils. As the bottom of the lineup, we got 9-1-2 coming up for the Red Devils. And Natalie Sumption, the catcher, starts things off here in the third. Swing and a miss. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouled, backing out of play. Sumption, a big target, very tall. And here comes the pitch, again fouled off and out of play, and she stays alive. One might think having a wider strike zone because of the height might be easier, but the longer arms can reach to a lot of other places. And Coach Thacker says Sumption does just that. She's very patient at the plate as she watches that missed changeup from Guyman go about 40 feet and maybe 39. We'll give her that, maybe 39 feet. Rolls to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fisted to Strasburg. 1 up, 1 down. And that brings up the left fielder, top of the lineup, number 23, Tiana Ta'ala.
Left fielder, Tiana Ta'ala.
Tiana in the top of the first inning flied out to shallow right field. That's where Brianna Gammon hangs out. And she promptly fouls that first offering from Guyman out of play. And right back up the middle. So Tiana 1 for 2 on the day so far with that single. And the tying run comes to the plate in second baseman Annie Anderson. Anderson drew a walk her first at bat. She looks to get on base again, and she takes that curveball for a strike. And again, Guyman getting ahead of the count, which is a key into what Coach Reese's game plan was coming into this matchup today. And that pitch is fouled and out of play. It's to make sure that at the plate, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles stay patient, be selective on their pitches, and then on defense, be aggressive, especially from the pitcher circle and Guyman. Guyman stares down Anderson, rocks back with the windup. Low and inside, just misses for her first ball. Ta'ala on first. 1 out. Top of the third inning. 2-0 Maple Mountain Golden Eagles over the Springville Red Devils. And that pitch is fouled. Should be playable. And Wiley comes over in shallow territory, almost right next to Mackenzie Meekum. And Anderson is retired.
And the Red Devil batter will be number 16, third baseman Riley Harris.
Riley Harris to the plate for the Red Devils. She singled to shallow left field just in front of Whitney in the first inning. And she takes that inside pitch for a strike. And again, Guyman getting ahead, doing her thing. Oh, 1 pitch. And that misses in the dirt. Good job by Avery Reynolds to stay down with it. Making sure that doesn't go to the backstop. One. That pitch is banged over the head of Whitney in left field, and she is gone. Riley Harris takes that 1-1 pitch deep over the left field fence. And we got ourselves a tie ball game. That ball, if it wasn't for that fence, might have put a big dent in that green car, as Harris put a charge into that one.
Now batting for Springville, number 12.
And that brings up shortstop Mary Fredrickson. Now with 2 outs, Guyman's got to buckle down and get back to work. What was a comfortable 2-0 lead, now just got washed out. Again, a big blast from Harris. And a big cut from Fredrickson. 0-1. On the outside corner for strike 2. Oh, 2 pitch. And fouled and out of play. And our producer, Andy Gesselson, makes the wonderful grab as that ball one-hopped into the truck. He did that barehanded, folks. We don't have a camera to get that angle, but I will just tell you, that was a barehanded grab from Andy. Hats off to you, my man. I don't know if that was self-defense or not, but it still looked good. That pitch is blooped into shallow center, and it falls just short of Wiley's glove and in front of Gammon. So Fredrickson is aboard with a bloop single.
And the batter will be the pitcher.
And that brings up Casey Jensen. Jensen now with an opportunity to help her own cause, as they say, to keep this rally alive and to keep Guyman in the circle, trying to wear her out as she continues to pitch on deep in the third. And she promptly bangs this one to Ashman, but Ashman tracks it down for the third and final out of the inning. But, like I said, folks, buckle up. The next 4 innings should be good ones. Riley Harris ties up the ball game with a deep blast to left field to tie her up. And we're knotted up 2-2. Don't go anywhere, folks. More on SFCN after this. 2-2 ball game here at Maple Mountain High School after a 2-run blast in the top of the third inning from Riley Harris. Ties the ball game up. And now we got the top of the order for the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. Ashman, Whitney, and Wilson. And they look to get on base and stir up some more trouble for Casey Jensen and the Red Devils.
Leading off for Maple Mountain in the bottom of the third inning.
Coming up at the end of the game, we will have our MVP Sports MVP of the game. And one of our sponsors, thank you to MVP Sports. And our replays It's like that home run in that last half inning was brought to you by our good friends, the Car Guys. Ashman swings and misses. Ashman, who went down swinging in the bottom of the first, trying to get some sort of revenge here in the third. And she looks at that pitch on the outside corner. Russ Carter says that one came across good for a strike. 0 balls, 2 strikes. And that changeup comes across on the inside plate, and Ashman goes down looking.
Ashman is called out on strikes for out number 1.
Bailey Whitney is your batter now.
Batter will be the left fielder.
Left fielder Whitney struck out as well in the first inning. And she looks at that pitch from Jensen. Jensen looks maybe a little bit more rejuvenated than the last inning, now that she has a tie ball game to work with. Good hack from Whitney, fouls it off. Here comes Jensen's offering, and she misses on the outside part with that change up. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Whitney. And Whitney just gets a piece of that inside fastball and stays alive. It's a little bit of a gloomy day down here in the Mapleton Spanish Fork area, but softball, Region 8 softball, in fact, bringing a little sunshine to you. Thanks for making us be a part of your day here on SFCN as Whitney takes that pitch high and outside for ball 2. Strong winds, about 5 to 7 miles an hour, blowing from right to left. And Whitney working Jensen to a full count after going down 0-2. Payoff pitch, and that ball is smacked past Harris at third, and Whitney is aboard with a single.
Whitney with a single left field.
Well, they don't call it the hot corner for nothing. Riley Harris already playing pretty close. But Whitney turned her hips, put the bat on the ball, and blasted that thing right past her glove, and Harris didn't have any time to react to that. And that brings up Wilson. And Wilson with a big cut, swings and misses. Wilson got the rally started with a single up the middle in the bottom of the first inning that got between Morgan's legs in the outfield. She made it to third and then was hit home. Foul back to the catcher. Strike 2. And fouled and out of play into the tennis courts. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2-2 ball game. Here's Jensen's offering. Low and inside. And does it stay fair? It does not. Jensen came inside with the fastball. Looks like it jammed Wilson just a bit, but Wilson's strong enough to fight it off and hit it over Riley Harris's head. If that was a couple feet more to its right, that ball would have been fair and possibly a double for Wilson. But she stays alive. Changeup misses on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilson steps out, gathers herself, back in, taps the plate. Jensen winds up and delivers, and that ball is popped into the air into shallow left field, but Tiana Ta'ala comes in to make the catch in foul territory. 2 away.
Ball is caught in foul territory for out number 2. Now batting number 7, the pitcher, Carly Guyman.
Carly Guyman now steps up to the plate. Guyman flied to right in the first inning, and Morse could not come up with it. And that was the first run of the ball game as Wilson was on third and came across on that play. So 2-2 ball game. Springville Maple Mountain knotted up in the bottom of the third inning here at Maple Mountain High School. For a second foul ball in a row, Guyman is down 0-2 to Jensen. Jensen shakes off a sign. Here comes a 2-2 offering. Change up on the outside part of the plate. Slapped to second, and Andy Anderson tags out Whitney, and that'll end the inning. So after 3 innings of play, we still got ourselves a tie ball game here at Maple Mountain High School. Red Devils of Springville 2, Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain 2. So we're going into the 4th inning here on SFCN. Guyman warming up in the top of the 4th inning without her mask on. But she'll put that back on before the inning starts. Two runs for each squad here in the 4th inning.
In the top of the 4th, leading off for the Red Devils, number 24, first baseman, Maddie Daybell.
First baseman Maddie Daybell will start things off in the top of the 4th inning for the Red Devils. Daybell was one of 3 victims of strikeouts in the second. So Jensen has 6 strikeouts and Guyman has 3. And she misses low and inside. Both pitchers are very dominant, very strong, and both coaches have a lot of respect for either player. Coach Thackeray has nothing but praise to say about Carly Guyman, and Coach Reese has nothing but praise to say about Casey Jensen. And both of the pitchers are having strong outings today. Guyman misses in the dirt with that off-speed pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike to Daybell. That ball is dribbled and is dropped. Sydney Wilson made the play over to third, over to first, but Mackenzie Meacham did not handle it. The throw was a little bit in the line of the runner, and Meacham cannot hold on. As we take a look at the replay brought to you by the Car Guys, there's the throw. The throw looked like it tailed away as Wilson threw it over, and Meacham just could not grab onto it. And Daybell is aboard on the error. And that brings up Teresa Morse, the right fielder. She takes that first pitch for a strike from Guyman. And a bunt is laid down. Guyman tries to field it, but she and Wilson collide. And Morse is aboard with a bunt single.
Morse with an infield hit.
We're going to have a little team meeting in the circle to take a look at that quick replay. It was a high pitch, but Morse squared around, kept her shoulders square and towards the mound. Was able to put the fat part of the bat on the ball and laid down a textbook bunt in between Wilson and Guyman. And ultimately, Guyman was the one who came out of her circle to make the play, but wasn't fast enough. And it looks like we're going to have a speed-up runner for Daybell. So coming in to run for Daybell will be number 10, number 10, Melanie Anderson.
Now batting for Springville, number 15, Sadie Clark.
And that brings up number 15, Sadie Clark, for the Red Devils. Clark, the lefty, shows bunt, and that pitch gets away from Avery Reynolds, and the runners will advance. So with nobody out, runners now on second and third in prime scoring position for the Red Devils to bust this thing open. Clark struck out swinging in her first at-bat in the second inning. 1 ball, no strikes, and she swings and misses at that pitch on the outside part of the plate. The 1-1 pitch from Guyman. Swung on and missed again, strike 2. Coach Thackeray telling Clark, choke up, shorten up her swing, make sure to get some good contact. And she shortens up, swings, and misses again for her second strikeout of the day. And that is Guyman's 4th strikeout of the day.
And the batter will be the catcher,
That brings up number 2, catcher Natalie Simpson. So 1 away. Runners on second and third. Guyman doing work from the circle. And she misses with that inside fastball. That pitch foul to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. As you see Tiana Ta'ala on deck, who reached safely last inning with a single up the middle. One. Another bunt laid down. And there's a play at home. A throw is made by Guyman to Reynolds just in time to stop the run from scoring. And Daybell is thrown out at home. Take a look at the replay. The bunt is laid down. Here comes Guyman. Guyman from her knees throws to Reynolds and is able to get Daybell just before she slides across the plate. Great heads-up play by the veteran Guyman. Ta'ala fouls that pitch back. Two outs, top of the 4th. Morse on third. Ta'ala in the box. And that pitch is promptly banged over to Whitney's head, just foul. That was a close one. Guyman was lucky. She came in inside, and Tiana Ta'ala was waiting for it. Opened up her hips, threw her hands at the ball, and just was out in front of it. No balls, 2 strikes. And that pitch is missed in the dirt. And Sumption will go ahead and take second with no decision from Reynolds to throw down. So second and third are your runners. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 4th. Here's Guyman's windup and delivery. And that is in shallow right field. And Brianna Gammon has it.
And Ta'ala flies out to right field for
So, Carly Guyman escapes some potential trouble as she had runners at second and third with nobody out, but is able to find a way to get out of the inning, and we're still tied at 2, and we're going into the bottom of the 4th here at Maple Mountain High School. Maple Mountain 2, Springville 2. We'll be right back here on SFCN. Told you to buckle up before the game started, folks. Springville, Maple Mountain, anytime these teams play, it's always a good one. Earlier this season, they met in St. George, and like we talked about earlier, they lost 3-2 on account of time running out. It's always a close one, and we got another close one here today. 2-2 is your score here in the bottom of the 4th. A 2-run blast by Harris in the top of the 3rd inning tied the ball game after Maple Mountain went ahead in the bottom of the 1st off of a couple hits and an error. And leading off the bottom of the inning is Reynolds for Maple Mountain, and she takes Jensen's pitch on the outside part of the plate for a ball. And swings and misses at that second pitch. 1-1 is the count. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. Reynolds had an RBI single in the shallow left field her first time up. Assumption cannot handle that pitch. So 3 balls and 1 strike is your count to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fouled and out of play. And what a great catch in the stands. I was just told she does play softball, but without a glove. It's a great catch.
And illegal pitch is called, and the batter is awarded first base.
Coach Thackeray is coming out to discuss with Jess Cornwell, the field umpire, after the call was made that there was an illegal pitch. Therefore, Reynolds is awarded first base. And that brings up right fielder Brianna Gammon. Gammon struck out in the bottom of the 1st. And dribbled out in the 3rd. As Jensen's pitch gets away from Sumption behind the dish, and Reynolds goes to second. As you can hear, the energy coming from the Golden Eagle dugout is getting louder and louder to a fever pitch. As this game gets deeper and deeper, that pitch popped down the line, and it is out. And tagging going to 3rd is Reynolds.
Makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1.
So that is Andy Anderson, the second baseman, coming in to make that play in foul territory. But heads up play by Reynolds to tag from second and go to 3rd. So Mackenzie Meekum now comes to the dish with an opportunity to go ahead with a runner on 3rd. And she does come through. Line drive into left field to Tiala over Harris's head. An RBI single for Meacham.
Meekum with a single left field and an RBI, scoring Reynolds. Now batting number 14, second baseman, Megan Wiley.
Megan Wiley is your batter now. And she takes that pitch for a strike. And she shows bunt and lays this bunt down to the first base line, and it gets through. That will be a bunt single as Daybell nor Jensen could come up with it. So bunt single for Wiley. And with 1 out and 2 on board, looks like Coach Thackeray is going to come out to have a talk with Jensen. Nice, and again, another textbook bunt as we take a look at that instant replay brought to you by our friends, the Car Guys. So Coach Reese having a talk with her base runners and Coach Thackeray having a talk with Jensen and the rest of her squad in the circle. Maple Mountain Golden Eagles take a 3-2 lead off of the RBI single from Meacham. And Russ Carter calls an end to the meeting.
Now batting for Maple Mountain, the shortstop, number 16.
And shortstop Taylor Strasburg steps up to the plate for the Golden Eagles. And a check swing. She does go. Strike one. High and outside for ball one. High and outside ball two. Swing and a miss. Strike two. So Meekum is at second base. Wiley on first. Strasburg at the dish, 2-2 count. And this one is poked to Teresa Morse in right. And she retires Strasburg. Just a little too shallow for the runners to tag and advance. And with 2 outs, that brings up our leadoff batter, Ellie Ashman. Ashman 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. And the infield playing in. She takes that pitch for a ball. Jensen's windup and delivery. Slapped foul out of play. Takes a 1 hop and hits a car into the parking lot. Jensen's 1-1 pitch. And that hits the plate and gets away from Sumption. So Meekum and Wiley advance. Runners at second and third. Here's the 2-1 pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on in the bottom of the 4th. Jensen. Fouled off by Ashman. Here's Jensen and Ashman. Strikes out for the 3rd time today. But Mackenzie Meekum comes through for the Golden Eagles on an RBI single to take the lead. And we're going to the top of 5. Maple Mountain 3, Springville 2, here on SFCN. Mackenzie Meekum's RBI single in the bottom of the 4th inning gives the Maple Mountain Eagles a go-ahead run here in the ball game as they lead 3-2 over the Springville Red Devils. Meekum 1 for 2 on the day, and that RBI could not have come at a more pivotal point in the ball game. And Guyman looks to settle things down on defensive side as Anderson fouls that out of play. Casey Jensen has 6 strikeouts for the Red Devils, and Guyman has 4 strikeouts for the Golden Eagles. That pitch is laced into the gap in between Whitney and Ashman. Whitney to the fence to pick up the ball, throws it into Strasburg. Strasburg with the throw to third, and Wilson puts the tag on, and Anderson is thrown out. So Anderson trying to do a little too much, a little overzealous. Overthought the arm of Whitney. Here's the pitch from Guyman, and that ball travels to the fence. Whitney, who's on her horse, picks it up and fires a strike to Strasburg, who then fires the relay over to Wilson, and Wilson with the tag gets Anderson out at third. And that brings up Riley Harris. Riley Harris, who had that monster bomb, the 2-run blast to tie things up in the third inning. And she has a big cut on the outside part of the plate. Swings and misses. And Harris doesn't bite at that off speed in the dirt. Guyman steps in the circle, gets her sign. Here's the windup and delivery. Comes inside with that rising fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Guyman just misses. That pitch solicits some jeers from the Maple Mountain faithful. But Russ Carter didn't see it the same as they did. Here's the payoff pitch from Guyman. That ball is fisted up the middle, and it has eyes to get past Strasburg and Wiley. Just out of the outstretched glove of Taylor Strasburg and Megan Wiley. That ball crawled through, it seemed like, up the middle for a base hit. And that brings up shortstop number 12, Mary Fredrickson, now for the Red Devils. Here's Guyman's pitch. Right down the middle for a strike. Fredrickson had a bloop single her last at bat in the top of the third. And lined out to short her first time up. She fouls that one back to the backstop. Oh, 2 pitch from Guyman. Changeup off the glove of Wilson at third. And the ball gets away from Guyman, and runners will advance. So an infield single for Fredrickson. And runner will advance on the throwing error from Wilson to Guyman. So now more potential damage, potential danger for Maple Mountain Golden Eagles as Casey Jensen, the hottest bat in the lineup coming into this game for the Red Devils, steps up to the plate with runners in scoring position, down by 1. And she flies this one to Bailey Whitney in left field. And here comes the tag. The relay will not be in time. And Anderson comes home, and we have a tie ball game, 3-3 in the top of the 5th.
Now batting, number 24, first baseman, Maddie Daybell.
Maddie Daybell is your batter now. 2 outs, runner at second. Daybell takes the first pitch for a strike. Daybell reached on a throwing error from Wilson to Meacham in the 4th inning, her last at bat. And struck out before that in the 2nd. And she puts this one foul out of play. Strike 2. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5 to get out of the inning. Again, folks, back and forth game between these rivals. Springville 3, Maple Mountain 3. We're going to the bottom of the 5 here on SFCN 17. The Power Windmills in the mouth of the canyon with the perfect backdrop for this perfect game, you could say, for an entertainment perspective. 3-3 tie ball game, second tie of this game. Again, a back and forth battle between crosstown rivals Springville and Maple Mountain, the neighbors. Casey Jensen and company trying to stay alive and possibly take a lead. Came back to tie this one up in the bottom half of that last inning. And now Bailey Whitney leads things off here for the Golden Eagles in the bottom of the 5th. Fouls this one out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Whitney. Whitney had a single to left her last time up and struck out looking her first time. 1 for 2 on the day. And make that 1 for 3 as she goes down looking again. Jensen's 7th strikeout of the ball game. And that brings up third baseman Sydney Wilson. Wilson flied out to shallow left field in the 3rd inning and singled up the middle in the bottom of the 1st, and she flies to right, but Morse making a deep charge from right field, comes up and does not grab the ball, and Wilson's aboard with the error. And that brings up the pitcher, Carly Guyman. And Carly fists this one just out of play. And that one gets away from Sumption. And down to second base goes Wilson. Guyman is hitless on the day today. And a bloop single for Guyman. She must have heard me. And that is her first hit of the day. And she'll take second as Tiana Ta'ala holds on to the ball in shallow left field. Mary Fredrickson tried to turn around and make a Willie Mays style catch, but could not do it. And Guyman is aboard. If we take a look at that replay from the car guys, single just over Fredrickson's glove. Tiana Ta'ala comes and stumbles to get it, but gets the ball back into the infield. And Guyman takes second. Wilson at third. Avery Reynolds now the catcher at the plate. And Avery swings and misses at that pitch. Strike 1. High and outside, ball 1. Wilson on third. Guyman on second. Reynolds at the dish. Jensen looking to do some work from the circle. Wind up, and Natalie Sumption comes up from the crouch and is able to grab that one before yet another possible run came across the plate. Jensen. Reynolds fouls it back. Reynolds in the bottom of the 4th inning was awarded first base on an illegal pitch from Jensen. and had an RBI single to shallow left in the first inning. Reynolds swings and misses. 8 strikeouts on the day for Jensen. And that brings up Brianna Gammon, the right fielder. So 2 outs, and that pitch is fouled and out of play. Wilson on third, Guyman on second. Tie ball game 3-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Jensen's offering. Again, fouled back. So 2 strikes. Gammon struck out in the bottom of the first inning. And she strikes out here in the bottom of the 5th looking. So Jensen, she escapes danger with runners in scoring position, and she still has the tie going into the top half of the 6th. Again, it's going to be a wild finish here at Maple Mountain High School. 3-3 still your score. Come back for the top of the 6th here on SFCN. 3-3 ball game here in the top of the 6th inning at Maple Mountain High School. Home of the Region 8 matchup between the Red Devils of Springville and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain High School. Three ball game. Maple Mountain went ahead 2-0 early on. Springville came back and tied it. Maple Mountain went ahead again 3-2. Springville came back and tied it. Strong pitching from both teams. Casey Jensen with 8 strikeouts on the day from the circle for Springville. And 5 strikeouts for Carly Guyman and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. And Carly does it herself as she catches that line drive from Morse to lead off the 6th inning with an out.
Guyman grabs the liner for out number 1.
Take a look at the replay, slow-mo cam. Guyman just reaches out and grabs it.
Now batting number 15, Sadie Clark.
Sadie Clark is your batter. Sadie coming in from the left-hand side of the batter's box with that running slap motion. If you're fans of baseball, almost like Ichiro Suzuki. And Clark takes that strike. And Clark fouls that one out of play. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 6 for Guyman.
Guyman with a strikeout for out number 2.
And that brings up the catcher, Natalie Sumption.
Now batting for Springville, the catcher, number 2, Natalie Sumption.
Natalie Sumption was awarded first on a fielder's choice in the 4th and lined out to short in the 2nd. Here in the top of the 6th, she takes that pitch from Guyman for a strike. She looks to keep this start the 2-out rally. Pop fly, out of play. Bounces off the concrete. And Sumption lives to see another pitch as she gets some encouragement from her teammate Tiana Ta'ala on deck. Guyman winds up, delivers. Outside corner, strike 3. Strikeout number 7.
Guyman with
on the day. Just one away from tying rival Casey Jensen. So both pitchers doing work from the circle. Now it's Maple Mountain's turn to do some work from the batter's box as they go into the bottom of the 6th inning to grab their bats. We're tied 3-3. Come right back for the bottom of the 6th here on SFCN. It's a good shot of the Maple Mountain Golden Eagle dugout. Smiles all around as they go into the bottom of the 6th inning against their rival, their neighborhood rival, you could say, Springville Red Devils, tied 3-3. A back-and-forth battle between the two teams. A couple lead changes. And leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning, number 11, first baseman Mackenzie Meekum, who had an RBI single in her last at-bat to put the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles ahead 3-2. But then that lead was short-lived as the Springville Red Devils will come back and tie it up. In the top of the 5th off of Jensen's sacrifice fly. Jensen from the circle to Meekum, swung on and missed. Fouled and out of play, strike 2. If Maple Mountain puts a run across the board in this half inning and get 3 outs next one. Off-speed pitch, swung on, should be playable, and it is. Andy Anderson retires Mackenzie Meekum for the first out. Megan Wiley is the batter now, second baseman, number 14. Wiley shows bunt, pulls back, and fouls that ball. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High and outside. Wiley had a textbook single in the bottom of the 4th inning. And struck out in the bottom of the 2nd. Check swing. Home plate umpire Russ Carter says she did go for strike 2. Here's the 1-2 from Jensen. Wiley stays alive and fouls that one out of play. Lives to see another pitch. 1-2 offering. Again, fouled back. And Wiley making Jensen work. Shown bunt. And banged into right field, but Teresa Morse is there. And 2 up, 2 down. And that brings up shortstop Taylor Strasburg. Strasburg 0 for 2 on the day, flied out to right as well. Oh, there's a ground ball. And 0 for 3. Anderson to Daybell, 4-3 put out. And we're going in the top of the 7th inning, 3-3 ball game. Casey Jensen doing work on the defensive side of things. Now it's her turn to lead her team in offense as we head into the top of the 7th inning here on SFCN. Top of the 7th inning here on Maple Mountain High School. Top of the order for the Springville Red Devils. Tiana Ta'ala, Annie Anderson, and Riley Harris will be the batters to face Carly Guyman. Carly, who caught some fire, striking out 3 out of her last 4 batters she's faced. And Ta'ala bangs this one just past Sydney Wilson's glove over at third into left field. Bailey Whitney gets the ball in very quickly to hold Ta'ala to a single. Ta'ala with her second hit of the day.
Number 3, Annie Anderson.
Inside pitch, and Ta'ala is all over it. Bangs it into left field. Nothing much the defense could have done there. Guyman winds up, and a bunt. And Russ Carter, the home plate umpire, explaining to some fans who thought she was out of the box when that ball hit her. Otherwise, she would have been out. But the ball came back into the box and grazed Anderson. Anderson shows bunt again, and this time that ball sails inside and grazes the bat. So Guyman lucks out, dodges a bullet there. We take a look at the replay brought to you by the Car Guys. And Anderson, almost in defense mode. Didn't get the bat out of the way. So 0-2 pitch from Guyman. And she lays off the off speed, and Ta'ala, with some heads-up base running, goes ahead and takes second, taking away the double play opportunity for the Golden Eagles. One ball, two strikes. Guyman to Anderson. Rising fastball misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Fouled out of play. Two-two pitch. Swung on and tipped. Anderson stays alive. That ball went off Avery Reynolds' face mask and shot back to the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on second, nobody out. Top of the 7th. Outside corner, strike 3 call. And Guyman's 8th strikeout on the day brings up Riley Harris. And we know she's got some pop. 2-run home run in the top of the 3rd. Tied the ball game at 2. And this one off the end of the bat into shallow center field. Coming on to make the play is Ashman, but Ashman cannot seal the deal. Almost had a snow cone grab. Superman diving in center. But Harris is aboard with the single. We take a look at the replay. Here comes Ashman, spread out, full extension, and she had it, but when her glove hit the ground, that ball popped out. Fredrickson shows bunt. Bunt is in the air, but out of play. Coach Thackeray coming in to have a conversation with Fredrickson, one of the leaders on the team. Standout shortstop. Fredrickson lined out to short in the top of the 1st. Had a bloop single on the top of the 3rd. And here she is in the top of the 7th. Swung on and missed. Big cut with the off-speed pitch. Good changeup from Guyman. I think Fredrickson was sitting on fastball. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's Guyman. Popped and out of play. Tiana Ta'ala on third. Fredrickson at the dish. Here's Guyman from the circle. Slapped into right field. Brianna Gammon has it. And she doubles up at first base. Harris was caught too far off the bag. Brianna Gammon with the putout. And we take a replay. Fredrickson with the bloop ball into right field. Gammon comes up firing after making the catch over and Mackenzie Meacham with the stretch. And that double play is how we're going to end the top of the 7th inning. We're going to the bottom of 7, still tied 3-3. Come right back, folks. More drama here on SFCN. 3-3 ball game going into the bottom of the 7th inning here on the campus of Maple Mountain High School. Region 8 matchup between neighborhood rivals Springville and Maple Mountain. Red Devils have come back to tie the ball game a couple times after Maple Mountain has gone ahead. And we got ourselves a doozy going into late innings here. Casey Jensen, Carly Guyman going at it from the pitcher circle, both with 8 strikeouts on the day. Both doing work, getting back up from their defense and from their teammates on the offensive side with the bats. And looking to start things off with the bats in this bottom inning is leadoff batter, center fielder number 4, Ellie Ashman for the Golden Eagles. Ashwin swings and misses. Casey Jensen not going to let the Golden Eagles go down without a fight at all. Oh, 1 pitch, high and outside, 1-1. Ashman struck out her last time up in the bottom of the 4th. And a great play from Natalie Sumption coming out of her crouching position to snag that ball before it touched the ground.
Now batting left fielder, number 8, Bailey Whitney.
Bailey Whitney is your batter now. Bailey Whitney struck out in the bottom of the 1st and had a single to left in the bottom of the 3rd. And struck out again in the bottom of the 5th, 1 for 3 on the day. And she takes that pitch from Jensen in for a strike. Outside part of the plate for a ball. 1-1 is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Center field. And Sydney Morgan has it. 2 up, 2 down. And that brings up third baseman Sydney Wilson.
Now batting for Maple Mountain, the third baseman, number 12, Sydney Wilson.
Sid the Kid, as they call her. Reached on an error in the bottom of the 5th. And flied out to shallow left in the bottom of the 3rd. And had a single up the middle in the bottom of the 1st. She takes Jensen's offering high for ball 1. And it was in the bottom of that 1st inning with 2 outs. Wilson's single started the rally. And there she is again, starting another 2-out rally with that bloop single over Riley Harris's head into shallow center field. And the throw is overthrown, but the ball stays in front of Wilson, so she will go nowhere. But Wilson's second hit of the day could not have come at a more timely manner. And that brings up pitcher Carly Guyman. And Carly nubs this one to short. Does the throw have enough? And it does. Mary Fredrickson bobbled it, but for a split second, regained focus and rocketed over to Maddie Daybell to get Guyman out at first. We're going into extras here on Maple Mountain High School. Don't go anywhere, folks. More softball here on SFCN after this. Your scoreboard is correct. That is 3-3. And we're in the top of the 8th inning here on the campus of Maple Mountain High School. Brandon Crow with you. Thank you for taking the time to be with us on this Tuesday, March 24th, 2015. I want to take the time again to thank our sponsors, MVP Sports and the Car Guys. The replays you've been seeing all day today have been brought to you by the Car Guys, and MVP Sports is helping bring this broadcast to you. At the end of this ball game, we will give away an MVP Sports MVP of the game. Several candidates up for grabs here, but I have a feeling there will be some late drama and some heroics where that MVP will have their time to step up on stage and shine. Speaking of shining, Casey Jensen steps up to the dish, looking to help her team and her own cause. Another solid outing for her. 8 strikeouts, giving up 3 runs so far in 7 innings. Carly Guyman comes right at her with the fastball in foul territory. Bailey Whitney, Taylor Strasburg making valiant efforts, but neither could make the play. No balls, 2 strikes to Jensen. Jensen popped out to Reynolds, her first at-bat. Flied out to center. And had a sac fly to tie the game. As she does not like that off-speed pitch. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitcher to pitcher. Jensen, good piece of hitting to stay alive. Jensen, Daybell, Morse. Pending Clark and Sumption. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Guyman. And lifted deep and back to the fence. 1 run will score as softball starts with the international rules with a runner at second base, the last out being. So Jensen with an RBI double puts Maple Mountain in the hole, and Springville on top 4-3. That ball was just blasted. Nothing that Ashman or Gammon could do. And Fredrickson come around to score. And that brings up Daybell. Maddie Daybell can extend the lead here. And she lays down a bunt. Avery Reynolds puts the ball in fair territory with that touch. Avery Reynolds dove to make the attempt, and in that attempt, she nicked the ball in fair territory, causing it to be live. And smart heads-up play by Sydney Wilson to fire it to first to Mackenzie Meacham for the out. But the runner advances to third, and with only 1 away, Mortz has an opportunity to extend the Red Devils' lead. A little slider low and inside, almost nicks the back heel of Morris. So 4-3 Red Devil lead here in the top of the 8th inning. 1 out, 1-0 count. High, Avery Reynolds makes the stop. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Comes across the plate good for a strike, says Russ Carter, the home plate umpire. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, runner on third. Down by 1, here's Guyman's offering. Slapped and out of play. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back. Morse staying alive. You hear the chants, the restless, energetic chants coming from the Red Devils. High and outside. Full count to Morse. Here's the payoff pitch from Guyman. The windup and the delivery. Again, fouled out of play. Three-two pitch. Again, almost a replay of the last pitch. And with each foul ball, the energy coming from the third base side dugout increases. Payoff pitch. Inside. Strikeout number 9 on the day for Carly Guyman. And it looks like we might have a pinch hitter. Coming up to bat for Sadie Clark will be number 4, Sydney Morgan. Sydney Morgan is a designated flex player. All games she's been playing in center field, but now she's coming in to bat for Sadie Clark. Four-3 lead. Red Devils. Guyman hits the outside black. Runner on third, 2 outs. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Guyman. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 10 for Guyman.
Guyman with another strikeout to end the inning.
1 run comes across. Maple Mountain has a mountain of their own to climb here in the bottom of the 8th inning as they trail the Springville Red Devils 4-3. They got to get 2 to win, 1 to tie. We'll see what happens when we come back with the bottom of the 8th inning here on SSCN. 4-3 is the score of your ball game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Maple Mountain trailing the Springville Red Devils. Springville got a run off of Casey Jensen's leadoff double. International rules, you start off the last out from the previous inning at second base. And with that runner starting at second base, Casey Jensen lined a Carly Guyman fastball to the left center field fence. And that is the difference in the ballgame right now. So Maple Mountain starts this one off with Guyman at second base. And Reynolds at the dish. 0-1 pitch. And Reynolds bloops it over the first baseman's head. But Annie Anderson is there to pick up slack. Annie Anderson scoops the ball up and dishes it over to Maddie Daybell for the putout. And Springville is 2 outs away from a victory. That ball is fouled down the line, and no play is made. Daybell, Anderson, and Morse all in pursuit. So again, a base hit could tie the ball game up. Mackenzie Meekum at the dish. Takes high. Mackenzie flied out to short her last time up. And bangs this one into shallow right field. Here comes the throw. It is cut off. It is cut off by Daybell. And we have a tie ball game. Tied up here, all at 4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ball on the outside part of the plate. Meekum just went with it. Here comes the throw. Guyman on her horse from second base comes all the way around to score and lined out. Ooh. Wiley was all over that pitch, but lined out right to Andy Anderson.
Now batting number 14, Megan Wiley.
Excuse me, that was Gammon. Gammon all over that pitch and lines out to Anderson. And now Wiley is up at the plate with 2 outs and a runner on first. And she puts this one into center field, but again, right at Sydney Morgan. And we're just going back and forth like a ping pong match here at Maple Mountain High School. One team goes up, the other team comes back. We're going into seconds of extras here. Top of the 9th inning coming up next here on SFCN. Mackenzie Meekum's RBI single in the bottom of the 8th inning ties the ball game up at 4. And we're in the top of the 9th inning now here at Maple Mountain High School with the Region 8 matchup between the Springville Red Devils and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. Brandon Crow and company with you here on SFCN. Thank you to MVP Sports and the Car Guys for helping make this game possible, being broadcast to you today. Solid matchup between neighborhood rivals. It's never a dull matchup. Always intense, says Coach Cassie Reese from Maple Mountain. Carly Guyman still doing work from the circle. A bunt is laid down. Guyman goes to first, and a runner advances over to third. Again, if you are unfamiliar with these high school rules in softball, international rules apply in extra innings. The last out from the previous inning is the one who starts off at second base. So Tiana Ta'ala had a base hit down the third baseline just past Sydney Wilson's glove, and she goes right down that same way. Tiana Ta'ala looking to get aboard again and cash in the go-ahead run with a base hit here. Carly Guyman has other options and other plans in mind. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 4-4 ball game, top of the 9th. Ta'ala. Guyman. Wind up. Delivery. Outside. The intensity is definitely heating up between both teams. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pop fly. Strasburg's got it. 2 away. And that brings up number 3, second baseman Annie Anderson. Anderson had a walk her first at-bat, popped out her third at-bat. And possibly here, another fly out. And Mackenzie Meekum catches it. And Maple Mountain escapes without giving up any runs in the top of the 9th inning. They grab their bats, and starting with the runner at second base, have potential to win this ball game here in extras. We'll see what happens when we come right back after this here on SFCN. Here it all is, folks. Bottom of the 9th inning. 4-4 ball game. Taylor Strasburg in the batter's box. Casey Jensen in the circle. Strasburg shows bunt, pulls back. Again, Megan Wiley at second base, last out of the previous inning, starts this inning off. Strasburg takes 2 balls, no strikes from Jensen. And the bunt is down. Ooh, had just a little too much spin on it. And it curved just foul. Give credit where credit is due. Riley Harris made the play on the ball to make sure it stayed foul instead of coming back in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Right down the middle. Two-two pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 9 on the day for Jensen. And that brings up leadoff batter, center fielder, Ellie Ashman. Ashman has struggled to reach base on the day today. Several strikeouts. She lays that bunt down foul. With the corners playing so far in, a bunt would advance Wiley from second to third. Ashman lays it down, and this one is foul for strike 2. Oh-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1. Jensen trying to see if she can get Ashman to chase. Ashman very patient and holds up. Here's the 1-2. Ashman stays alive and fouls that one back. One-two pitch, changeup, bobbled, and the runners are safe everywhere. Fredrickson tried to come and make the play and could not. So Wiley is safe at third. Ashman safe at first. 1 away. Bailey Whitney up at the plate. Whitney swings and misses. One strike. 1 out. 1 run away from victory. High and outside. Ashman takes second on the no contest. Fouled back. And there is a fly ball into left field. Here comes the throw home. The throw is offline. The throw is offline. Tiana Ta'ala does not make the throw. And Bailey Whitney with the sacrifice walk-off gives the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles the victory over the rival Springville Red Devils. Wow. It took 9 in the bottom of the 9th. A sacrifice fly to walk off and end the game. And Maple Mountain takes the game, 5-4 from the Red Devils of Springville. We take a look again. There's the deep fly ball, just deep enough. Catch is made. Here comes the throw, and it is offline. And Wiley comes across, all smiles, into her outstretched arms of her teammates. Final score, once again, 5-4, Maple Mountain victory over Springville. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the recap and our MVP Sports MVP of the game right here on SFCN. That is your final score from Maple Mountain High School. The Golden Eagles take a 5-4 victory over the Red Devils of Springville, courtesy of Bailey Whitney's game-winning walk-off sacrifice fly into shallow left field. The throw did not come in time, and the run came across. And we are going to go into the replay brought to you by our friends the Car Guys. There is the fly ball. The catch is made, and the throw comes, but it is not in time. And Maple Mountain Golden Eagles soar to a victory, a region victory, nonetheless, on their neighborhood rivals. And they improve their record to 10-2 on the season and 2-0 in region play. And with that, we are going to go into our MVP Sports, MVP of the match. And that will be awarded to left fielder Bailey Whitney, who had the game-winning walk-off RBI sacrifice fly. For all of your local sporting goods needs, feel free to go to mvpsportsutah.com and make sure to check out the Car Guys for any need that you might have with your car. The Car Guys have been doing it right and have been hooking you up here in the Spanish Fork area for years. Our go-to cars are our go-to guys, the Car Guys. And again, congratulations to Bailey Whitney, our MVP Sports Player of the Game, and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, as they are victorious again here today by the final score of 5-4 over the Springville Red Devils. I am Brandon Crone for our tirelessly working hard and awesome, outstanding crew here at SFCN, both on site and in the studio. We say thank you again for taking the time to be with us and for letting us be in your homes. And we will see you again here on SFCN Sports. Thank you and have a great day.